Welcome to the Volume Fink demo series. Now, you might find the names a little confusing on this. I had to spend a long time thinking about them because every jack can be an input or an output. It has two functions. So in the default mode of a volume control, this is the input and this is output 1. So input 1, that is output 2, the reverse output. This is also output 2. So those are actually interchangeable in this case, and you could use either. Now, in other modes, that's a send and that's a return for the Osciblender. When we're using it as a mixer, 1 and 2 are no longer outputs but become inputs, and the input becomes an output. So we can use input and output 1 and 2, or we can use input 1 and 2 and output. So those can be flipped either way around. Very, very clever, but that's why it's named the way it is. In the case of the Osciblender, that is the input and Osci is the output. In actual fact, you can swap these two again, but there's a limit to how confusing I wanted to make this. So we'll go through each mode, but if in doubt, refer to the documentation or just plug things in. It's completely passive, so you're not going to hurt anything. It's just going to work or not work. So this little volume pedal has 4 main ways of being used. Set up as it is, we have the guitar going into the input and then coming out of output 1 into an amplifier. And this is just a volume control. It's just a really high quality, lovely volume control. So let me demonstrate this. You can hear it turning up. And I've got it on an overdrive channel. So you hear a little bit of overdrive. At peak, at top, it's more or less at full. Because it's a blender and does many other things, the main sweep is from here to here, but with the large volume knob, that's not a problem. That's plenty of range. And after that, it only gets slightly louder. It's very smooth up to halfway. And then there's a slight increase in the rest. And this is on purpose. Now, if you were to put into output 2, that would work in reverse. So here, that's going to be quiet at full. Full is quiet. And at half, it's now up to full volume and a little bit more. So we have reverse volume. So our 2 outputs here are effectively normal volume, normal direction volume output there. So it's just a volume control at this point, which you can reverse. Now, the other functions on it, which I'm about to show you, are a dual output splitter. So we can use these 2 outputs simultaneously to go from 1 amp to another, or to send to 2 chains. We can use the whole pedal in reverse and use them as inputs, so that we'll be able to use it as a blender and mix 2 inputs. And we'll be able to do mode 4, the Osciblender, which I'll go into detail at the end. In mode 2, we can use the Volume Fink as a kind of balance control to send 1 input, the red jack has our guitar in it, through to 2 outputs. So the purple jack is the high gain Marshall, and the neutral at the top is going to my completely clean Selmer. The purple jack, just like the volume control, in to out, works exactly the way you'd expect. So at the moment there is no high gain sound, and as we turn this up, we'll get more high gain. The output 2 works in reverse, so at the moment it's maximum, and as we turn it down, it'll reduce in volume. As we turn it up, it'll reduce down in volume. So here we go, this should be completely clean. As we get to halfway, we'll get a blend of the 2. And at full, we'll have nothing but Marshall. Might work better with an overdrive, to be fair. Let's see if I've got a bit of an overdrive. overdrive channel. So as you can hear there, we've got all the lovely sounds of having been able to blend clean to dirty, and it really makes everything sound big and stereo and punchy and alive. It's just kind of cool, very simple, very straightforward, easy as that. You can also swap output 2 from here to here. The two jacks are the same, if that's more convenient for your setup. This is the Volume Fink configured in input blender or mixer mode. So this is taking our two inputs on the right, or using the two jacks as inputs I should say, 1 and 2, and sending to the input out as an output. On the right is our guitar coming in via the red cable into the flanger, which then splits the sound into two. One is going into input 2 directly from output A, and the other is going through the pitch shifter delay set as delay into input 1. So at the moment, because they're both off, when I blend from one to the other, you'll hear no change because we're blending from a clean sound to a clean sound. And as you can hear, that's quite an even blend balance. Now if I turn on the delay, this is simply being used as an active splitter at this point, and we've got the delay on input 1, which is maximum when it's up, and the clean sound on input 2, which is maximum when it's down. So if we do that again, we'll get the clean sound with nothing. As we turn it up, we'll blend in our delay all the way to maximum delay. And if we would turn on the flanger, then we would blend from flanger only into flanger and delay, which is a really nice ethereal sound. As we bring the delay in, so that's quite nice. That's one way of using it as a blend between two inputs. But we can also do it a different way. What if you don't have a pedal with a stereo output? All is not lost. You're simply going to need one of these. It's a mono splitter, or you can use a mono splitter cable if you prefer, and need a right angle jack because this is a bit ungainly. These are not included, but it's a straightforward little bit of kit. So what we're going to do with this here, as I've set up two chains in parallel, we're going to plug each into this jack, and I'm going to use the flanger just as a buffer for convenience. So now what we've got is our guitar coming in on the right as usual into a pedal. I'm going to leave this off for now. Mono splitter, so it's identical signal. One's going to our overdrive distortion, the other's going to our delay. And then those are going to the two inputs on the mixer, again on the Volume Fink. So we've got input 1 and input 2. And the input out configured as out on the left. So this is again mixer blend mode. And once again, if I turn this on and just make some noise with it, we'll find there's a nice clean blend from nothing to nothing. And if one of these pedals is turned on, it will become the pedal I'm blending. So we're going to turn the... let's do the delay first. So because it's input 1, that works normally. And a normal sort of work means that it's quiet left, loud right. So we've got quiet left, no delay. Lots of delay right. The overdrive distortion is going to work the opposite, so it's working in reverse, so there's none on the full at full. And as we turn it down, we're getting a clean blend of our drive, which is really cool. So here just a bit of drive. So that's 100% drive on the left. Bit of a scratchy old pedal, this. And we can blend that out again. Apologies for the clipping, it really is just dirty jacks on these old pedals. And if we put them both on, of course, we can blend from one to the other and have parallel. So we've got full delay, full drive, 50-50 parallel. So I've distortion in the background. How strange is that? We've got clean delay and distortion there. And of course we can use our other effects at the same time. I have no idea what this will sound like. So as you can hear there in that really interesting little bit of a demo, we've got a very ambient, crazy sound. But what really stands out about that, because we're using the parallel, is that the delays are clean, not distorted. So we've got a flange being distorted and also being delayed with clean repeats, which gives it that real clarity. You can hear the clean echoes coming, overlaying everything, whilst the distortion's there at the same time. You know, they're not muddied together. We could probably do a clean pitch as well. Let's have a go at that. I'll need... Actually, I think that really works well. So we've got like the standard guitar drive sound in there. Let's take out this. But we've also got the pitch. And then together. Enough of that. Anyway, you get the gist. It's pretty crazy. Parallel blending. Yeah, lots of ways to do that. Using the Volume Fink in Osciblender mode is something of an experience. Originally I thought, well, maybe we could just do a passive blender. So at the full left, we have just input here to output here, because that's how we set it up. So that's the input, that's the output from guitar to amp. And because we're full left, that's just going through. And at full right, we're now going through these. And in between, there's a blend of the two. So without even plugged in, it just sort of sounds like a volume control. And in many ways, that is exactly what's happening. Input, output 2. So, now what happens if we add something into our chain? So I'm going to add different pedals in. Well, it turns out that the buffers in all our pedals and the way the circuit works mean that some of the output gets fed back to the input no matter what I do if it's passive. If it had active stuff in it, it would work, but it doesn't. But the effect was really cool, so I kept it. So now with straight through, obviously we're going to get nothing much happening there. And if we turn on the pedal, what we'll get so you can kind of hear the guitar isn't really necessary in this. What we're really doing is just creating noise, and I think this is more of a noise innovator desktop thing. It's not some kind of see you using live. Prove me wrong. Go on. I feel free to prove me wrong. That is a giant whisker off my main coon I've just seen there. Look at that. What a distraction. I'm just going to leave that there because that's quite impressive. So yeah, so in this case, and every pedal's different because of the way the feedback loop works. You can get something different everyone. So in our overdrive distortion, we've created an oscillator, hence the term Osciblender. And I imagine if we change the controls, so that's our tone control affecting the pitch, our drive control, and our colour. Well, that's quite boring. That's just sort of a sine wave screech. So let's unplug that and move that one out of the way. Boring. Let's try something else. Every pedal's different. Are we going to get something out of a flanger? Honestly, I don't know. So let's see what happens. Oh, nothing so far. That doesn't seem to do anything interesting. Let's try turning some controls up. Nothing much out of that. Have I got these the right way around? Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, so it turns out that one needs a little bit of guitar input. Ah. That was ridiculously loud. I hope that came across because I just deafened myself with that. So that was ultra mode, maximum resonance. Then we need sort of to trigger it with the guitar. How amazing is that? Let's try and play some guitar through this and see what happens. Okay, I mean, I don't think we're going to beat that for actual insanity. But let's try something else. That was... I'm just going to file that one away for future reference. So this is a pretty crazy pedal already, so I don't expect we'll have much of a crazy output on this, but who knows. Let's see what we get, if anything. I mean, this is just the pedal. Oh, that's not the pedal. That's cool. So yeah, look, no hands, no guitar, just crazy noise. So that's like the resonance point, you can tell there, like there's not enough, there's like, yeah, it just needs the right amount of volume coming back for it, and... Okay, there you go. That's cool. That's the Osciblender. It gives you a general idea. We've got like fairly straightforward kind of screechy feedback. We've got psychotic rip your head off noises. But that thing's cool, you know? I mean, it makes pretty cool noises anyway, but that is, you know, and that's the kind of thing. This Osciblender mode on this, I see that as, to me, that was mode 4. It was a happy accident. But wow, I mean, it's just... the craziest thing. There was no way I was not going to make that. So there you go. That's how to use Osciblender. Knock yourself out. And please, if you find a really cool pedal that makes an amazingly weird sound with this thing, please, please, please post a video of using it. Because, I mean, I need to see that. And I think about 1 million other YouTubers or whoever really need to see it too. So yeah, have fun. Enjoy your pedal. And may all your noises be wild.